everyone, it's Ryan from Fruit Produce, and today we're going to be talking about the recently released DLC for Bloodborne, The Old Hunters. Now, it is no secret that I love Bloodborne, and every other controller-breaking game that From Software has to offer. So, when I heard about this expansion, I was hyped, and now it is here, and with it, my review. I feel I should start this by saying that there should be more games that make you feel victorious. Not just games where it tells you that you won. No, there should be more games where you feel the sweet ecstasy of victory in the face of tremendous odds against you. It is a great feeling and it should happen a lot more. You don't get it enough in games these days. I've played so many games where I'm just like, yep, I beat it. In one of my previous MMORPGs, or the only MMORPG, I talk about how playing Star Wars The Old Republic, I felt like I was just winning all the time. Like, there's no real challenge, it's just you beating the game, and then going about your day. And that's good if you want, to learn the story, but Bloodborne isn't the story you really have to look for, and that's what makes the DLC great, the initial game great. Most things that From Software has to offer, they're all amazing because you have to sit there for hours and just play. I think I have maybe one-shotted a boss, and I don't mean like I killed him with one hit. I mean, one boss in my entire history with From Software, I've beaten the first try. And I still felt victorious. I felt even more victorious because I had known so much about the game and so much about how I play my character, so much about who I was and how to respond to things, that I managed to beat this person just from analyzing them quickly. It wasn't like he was necessarily easy, because I then watched one of my best friends play that exact character and he couldn't do it. He played for like hours and just lost. And it wasn't like I just left my console running or anything like that. I'd freshly turned it on and played against this guy, and I won, and it was a great feeling. And that is something that this DLC brings back to the game that I think has been missing from most games. And it takes it to a whole new level. Like, I played Bloodborne, and it was a challenge, and at the end I was like, yes, I beat it, I'm the greatest. I started playing this, I was back to that moment of being so angry at a game and at myself, and every time you make that wrong move and you know it and you're like, fuck, and you think in that exact second, like, this is what I should have done, but you can't possibly go back and stop it, that feeling is great. And this game doesn't just tell you you've won, but there is nothing better than, like, just beating a boss and just showering yourself in that blood. So, I mean, I'm kind of giving my whole review here, but I wanted to go off script and just talk about one of the best gaming experiences I've had in 2015, 2016. I just beat it 4 days ago, which was January 2nd, and now we're here. This should be going up, hopefully today, on January 6th. Now, The Old Hunters thrust players back into From Software's nightmare-style controller crushers, I like to call them, because you just want to twist your controller at points and just break it. I've yet to do it because they're expensive, but one of these days. And it doesn't mess around. Like I said, this expansion features encounters that just put most of From Software's other encounters to shame. Like, they stepped it up. They're like, we're going to make this one of the hardest expansions I've ever experienced. Now, you could theoretically dive into this expansion once you're like 1/3 through the game. However, you do that, and then you'd be put into a mental institute, because no, you can't. They might say you can, but you can't. You need to have beaten the final boss of Bloodborne, and then maybe even the Chalice dungeons, and all of this stuff you should have down and done, and you should be confident. You should go back and practice before entering this, because I didn't. I was like, yeah, I did play with my New Game Plus character. I went in, and holy fuck, it hits you so fast. And the expansion is clearly based around the idea that you have beaten the game, so beat the game, for fuck's sake, please. And it's a good game, you'll enjoy beating it. One of the best parts of Old Hunters, for me, is the return of the Moonlight Greatsword. Now, for people who don't really care about these games, it's not going to mean as much to you. You're just going to be like, that's pretty cool if you see it. But it is an Easter egg that has appeared in almost all of From Software's games, and it is great to see it in this game. Of course, you have to defeat a maniacally annoying boss to get it. Like, he haunts me in my dreams. But you can get it, and it's good to have it, and it feels good. I don't really use it, unfortunately, but it's nice to have it in your equipment. On top of that, there are hospital equipment traps. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, but when you play, you'll know what I mean. You'll see it, and you'll be like, fuck me, that came out of nowhere. So just be ready for that. Now, there's something to be said that this expansion starts and feels immediately as a simple reimagining of areas players have already explored. If you've played Bloodborne, which I assume you have, you're just starting in an area where the game sort of just picks up and keeps going, and it takes areas and it's like, let's put a nightmare twist on them. And immediately that kind of turned me off. I don't like where they don't at least make new content, but then you start to see that they didn't really just nightmare twist it. They made it this interesting cacophony of new stuff. And they changed it in like the perfect ways that like most horror games could learn a thing or two from just this expansion and how to make a terrifying feeling. And I mean, you're automatically more invested into this type of game because of it's this type of game. There are stakes, whereas a movie you're not the character. But oh my god, I have not been as horrified doing other things as I was playing this game. I had jump scares, I squealed a little bit, and that's just a good feeling, because at first you're horrified, but then when you walk away, you have this fun experience. It's like riding a roller coaster. It's like edge of your seat terror. I love it. It also adds a large assortment of new weapons, and finally helps out magic users. I am not a magic user normally. I like to just go in there and hit people with my Kirk hammer. I don't really use that. It's a horrible weapon. It looks cool, but it's horrible. But I have a lot of friends who wanted to be magic users, and I played pretty heavy cleric in Dark Souls 2, so I was thinking, magic? But it didn't work out. Now you can finally utilize your amazing abilities. You can use everything together. And of course, there are like a bunch of saws, blades, whips, shit for you to use if you don't want to use magic. On top of this, all players, not just people who bought the old hunters, now have the ability to summon NPC hunters. So like, I was at my parents' house and they have horrible internet when I was playing this, but I could still sort of summon friends. Now, most of the time your NPC will die like midway through the battle. Now I had that happen a lot when I would summon other players. They'd like run in, take like half the boss's damage and then just leave, or they die. I mean, leaving you with like to finish the final half, so you still have that sense of success. Sometimes they'll stay. I had one NPC do probably more damage than I did to a boss, but that was with old game content. Do not expect them to help you when you're playing the old hunters. Nothing helps you. You have to cry thousands of times before you can beat any of these bosses. So I would say if you've already beaten Bloodborne, this DLC is essential. Go back, play it. It's like 10 or 20 hours, depending on how much you die. And if you were just looking for a challenge, pick this up. I mean, play Bloodborne, play this, then go back, play Dark Souls 2. They're really challenging games. They make you feel like you've learned something. They make you feel better. Finally, me and a bunch of friends, we usually decide the rating. I would have given this expansion a 10, but due to some of my friends not liking parts of it, we give Bloodborne the Old Hunters a 9 out of 10. And as always, if you like that video, make sure to smash that like button, and feel free and encouraged to check out my previous Looking Forward about the Minecraft-ish game Boundless. And be sure to tune in for more previews, reviews, and discussions on everything pop culture and gaming has to offer. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.